Disappointing news in Athens with the confirmation that Dominick Blaylock suffered an ACL injury on Wednesday. That means he'll be out for the season. What does that mean for Georgia moving forward? And what does that mean for Dominick as well? Dean Legge from Dog Post, making you a smarter Georgia fan. And we're not even 10 days into the 2020 preseason practice. It's really, whenever you start talking about guys getting injured, that's never a great topic, but it's a topic that Georgia will have to deal with. Now you didn't know for sure what you were going to get out of Dominick coming back from an ACL. I mean, that would have been him coming back, even with the delayed season, that would have been him coming back within about 10 months of the injury being sustained. That's a really quick recovery. So at this stage now, you're just hopeful for a successful 2021 and that he can move forward with his career the way that it should have panned out the entire time. For 2020, you're out without Blaylock for the season. That's something that Georgia said today. Now I don't know what Keely Ringo's status is. My assumption is that he will miss all of, if not most of, if not all of the season this year. And those are two explosive players that you're missing out on, specifically in the return game. I mean, when you think about Dominick Blaylock and what he did, the number one thing was he was consistent. He was extremely consistent in the return game. And there were no drops within the 10-yard line. I can think of a couple of times that's happened in the recent past at Georgia. With Dominick back there, you weren't having to worry about if he was going to catch the ball or not. He really was one of the better returners in the SEC last year. So that's gone. That will have to be replaced by someone else. And there are guys to pick from, but he was out there for a reason. And him not being out there on punt returns hurts Georgia, for sure. It hurts. Now, it's not going to be Tyler Simmons back there anymore because he's gone. But they still have a slew of guys to choose from. But no one I can't remember a person being as comfortable back there in punt return as Dominick Blaylock was. You could move forward with Kyrus in a lot of the return game, but this hurts Georgia. Does it stop them from winning the conference or national championship? No, I wouldn't say that, but it does hurt them for sure. At receiver, that's the one spot where they can probably recover from this quicker. As good as Dominick was in 2020, they have some receivers that give them the capability of being, really dangerous in the pass game. And again, for me, I thought it was going to take him a while to get back during this season anyway. Not because he's, just because an ACL injury, that's a serious thing. And returning from that is always challenging. You look at Thomas Brown, Zamir, Todd. It's not an easy thing to come back from. And so he's a tough guy mentally. And so that means that he'll have, be challenged again right now because of the injury. But he's a tough person as it relates to mental toughness. That he was in position to be where he was to play this season speaks to how good Ron Corson and the medical staff are at Georgia, but it also speaks to Dominique's stick-to-itiveness. And look, life is not fair. Athletics are not fair, and him having to deal with this is not fair, but it's what it is, and he'll have to account for that. Account for that makes it sound like he did something wrong. He did not do something wrong. These things happen in sports, unfortunately. It can happen to any of the guys that I'm looking at up on this screen right here, that I call a screen. But you've got guys, Rosemey, Burton, but to me, Kyrus Jackson is a guy, particularly at kickoff return, that you can have back there. Maybe a punt return. I mean, we'll see. I mean, Kyrus was a guy that was a big-time return guy until he got hurt in the middle part or the early middle part of last year. So let's see where they go from here. Dean Legge from Dog Post, wrapping up this part of the video. Thanks for watching. I want to make sure that if you are watching on YouTube, you click right there. That's an important playlist that we've been updating, the 2020 playlist. We're about 5 weeks from the season now. I'm starting to get travel situations figured out. We still don't have a lot of understanding from the SEC. Make sure you click this 2020 playlist, and I'll have more details over there about what's going to happen.